I had one of those reoccurring dreams when I was a little kid that I missed Friday the 13th, and it came true. I'm serious. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and in honor of it being Friday the 13th the other day, I figured I would make a Friday the 13th related video. Plus, it would give me an excuse to wear this t-shirt. So today, on the channel, we are ranking the top, however many there are, there's 10 of them. There's 10 Friday the 13th VHS cover arts. Now, of course, they had a Freddy vs. Jason VHS cover because that came out right as VHS was phasing itself out of the equation, okay? And then we're excluding the Friday the 13th remake because there were no VHSs back then or now. Or, well, maybe there is. I think there might be a Friday the 13th remake, like custom art, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count. It's not real. So today we're going to go ahead and, like I said, rank the top 10 Friday the 13th VHS cover arts. Because, you know, the DVD covers are horrible, and maybe one of these days we'll rank those even though they're horrible. And then don't even get me started on these Blu-ray and DVD collections that were god-awful. That doesn't... So we're going to get started off with number 10, and that goes to Jason X, which is also my least favorite movie in the franchise, but it's just so, I mean, it kind of came out when most movie posters started being kind of generic looking, because this is like a generic looking Jason. Now, Uber Jason I thought did look cool, but the initial Jason in this movie just looked like Kane Hodder wearing a Jason mask, wearing like some clothes he got from like a Spirit Halloween. Like it didn't even look like it was real clothes that were tattered and torn from years of abuse. It just looked like it was made to look like that. But that has nothing to do with the VHS cover art. It just has to do with, you know, this VHS cover art came out when they started making like generic looking movie posters in general. So it's last place on the list. And then following suit in order numerically backwards through 10 is Jason Goes to Hell. Now this one, you know, from this on, you know, I enjoy all of these. X is really the only one that I really don't like at all very much. Like I wouldn't necessarily hang it on my wall unless I just happen to have it with all the other posters. But that's beside the point. We're talking about the VHS. Jason Goes to Hell. Now, I remember when I was a little kid, you know, I was dumb, just like most little kids are, and this blew me away when this poster came out. I was so excited because, like, I had just, you know, been binging Friday the 13th for the past however many months because I was around that age and probably 10 years old when this came out, and I was a fanatic. I'm still a fanatic. I mean, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. But not like them Halloween fanboys. So yeah, the Jason Goes to Hell poster. As much as I loved it as a kid because it had that chrome mask. It's like, what's this little demon thing? Or did they all even have, like I have that Mandela effect. Did they all have the little demon thing? Or does it even have the little demon thing now? It's been so long since I even looked at the goddamn poster that I can't even remember. But that's besides the point. We're, you know, that's number 9. Like I said, from here on out, I love all these posters. I'm a big fat liar because number 8 is number 7, which is like my favorite fucking movie in the franchise. And they got the most least interesting poster. I mean, yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this? Because, you know, you got Tina's face on one side and half the Jason mask, and it doesn't really mesh well for me. It's always been like my least favorite. Like, I didn't even think I was gonna like this movie based on the cover. But that's just stupid talk because I love all these movies except for Jason X. It's also kind of basic. It's just a black background with, the mask and half her face. I feel like they could have did something better that had more potential. I mean, the ones before this are, obviously the best in the franchise because we're working our way down the list. I skipped part 8, but we will get to part 8. But this is number 7, and it is number 8. Moving on to number 7, and that is Friday the 13th Part 2. Speaking of plain Jane cases, even though I'm not going to lie, I'd probably get that tattooed. If I had enough body space on my body, I'd probably get all of these tattooed except for Jason X. But, like I said, plain Jane, there's nothing to it. It's just a silhouette of, the mystery killer because, the killer in Friday the 13th was killed off at the end. So part 2, it could have been anybody. And then it ended up being Jason. But it's not the Jason we'd go on to remember. Just like, had it not been me being a fanatic of this franchise, I wouldn't remember this poster. Which, it resembles another poster in the franchise that you'll find out is higher on the list. But anyway, that is number 7, part 2. Just a basic little chalk outline. Silhouette of a killer. Okay? I don't necessarily know that this one's plain Jane, but there's nothing much to it. It's kind of cool. That's why it's higher on the list. And that's number 6 with part 3. Now, somewhere out there's probably fancy special edition VHSs that's got like a lenticular where it shows. I remember, and it could be the Mandela effect. I remember Network Video. Back in like 1990, they had a copy in their store where it has like the lenticular where it shows the knife coming in and out of the shower curtain. And there are a couple different variations of this poster, but the basic one that you got at your basic video store is this one. And that's where it is on the list. Number 6. But, I love part 3. That's when he got his iconic mask. But there's not really much to say about the poster other than it's, a little bit better than the one from part 2. That's why it's number 6 and not number 7. Moving on to number 5, and that is part 6. Now, part 6 used to be one of my favorite posters just because they had the cemetery scene. But, over the time, I don't know. I have no excuse for why part 6 is at number 5. But, it's a great poster, and I'd hang it on my wall. I'd hang all these on my wall, but, if I had to rank them in order of position instead of numerically by release date of the films, this would be at number 5. But other than that, I don't know what to say about it. Look at it. Isn't it nice? Alrighty then. Moving on to the top 4 spots, which, as to something about hanging posters on your wall, these top 4 are ones that I would definitely like to have tattooed somewhere, before I die. Moving on to number 4, and that is Friday the 13th. Now, technically there was 2 different variations of this. Well, no, I guess, no, that I'm thinking movie poster. Don't pay any attention to me. But anyway, number 4 is Friday the 13th, part 1. You got the silhouette, but inside the silhouette, you've got this wonderful painting of all the characters in the forest, outside the cabin, overlooking the lake, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's a work of art, and I'd be glad to have it tattooed. Hell, if I had the money, I'd get a whole back piece that was this poster, because I'd have plenty of room for the rest of the posters somewhere else. But just to get the detail in this, let's, how big can we make it? Can you see what I'm talking about? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm even looking at. But this poster is just, VHS cover is just absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So, maybe I will look up the theatrical posters and we'll do a video on that. But as far as the VHS covers go, that is pretty much well, no, I guess there was a different theatrical poster. There's that. But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about this. That's number 4. Moving on to item number 3. And that's Friday the 13th, Part 5. Now, you probably have this lower on your list for some weird reason. I don't know. But for some reason, this one, even though it's only number 3, might be my next tattoo. Just because I do love this movie so much. It's like sometimes it's higher or lower on the list. Maybe one of these days I'll re-rank Friday the 13th, the movies, because I already did that once on my channel. Maybe I'll... Toki, do you have to do this every time I make a video? 20 minutes later. But yeah, there's just something about it. It's like foreshadowing on paper, because it is a hockey mask, but it's not a Jason mask. So that right there tells you something weird about this movie, right? Or at least that's the way I took it when I saw the movie and then realized Jason wasn't the killer. Spoiler alert! But that's why I think they used this mask for the VHS, because I'm pretty sure this isn't the original theatrical poster. But I don't know, because I can't remember. But this is Part 5's VHS cover, and I love it so much. And I also love the red light shining through. It just makes me feel warm and tingly inside. You know what I mean? So, number 3, Part 5. Argue down in the comments below. A lot of people are about to get really fucking pissed off because there's only 2 options left, right? And when you find out what number 2 is, you're like, what the fuck you talking about? Because number 2 is Friday the 13th, Part 4. Another iconic image that I absolutely love. And it's just, you know, I could get this tattooed next too. Like maybe if I'd saved up a bunch of money, I get both of them. I have 2 different tattoo artists do 2 different tattoos at the same time. Put myself through torturous hell so I can have this beautiful piece of art represented on my body somewhere. Like I'm running out of room on this arm to link everything together. Kind of sucks. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple. It's the final chapter, and there's the Jason mask. Even though I guess, you know, he had only wore the mask once before this film, but there it is. There's the mask that he wore in the last movie with a knife through it and blood. It's subtle, but impactful in the same way. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what the fuck I'm talking about? Because that's number 2 is Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. And that only leaves one last poster. They're not posters. And that only leaves one last VHS cover, and that is Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, a lot of people got problems with this movie. This used to be my favorite movie in the franchise when I was a little kid, even though, even then, when I was a dumb little kid, I never understood the whole, how come Jason isn't like mongoloidish in this movie except for like maybe 2 scenes. But in that scene, he kind of looks Asian. But none of this has anything to do with the fact that that is the best VHS box art in the entire franchise. Jeffrey Cool, you definitely agree with that, don't you? I mean, this is just, it's iconic. It's fucking New York skyline with the Jason mask. Now, I always question what's the deal with the gloves. And then the more I think about it, he is wearing gloves in this movie, I'm pretty sure. They're slimy, but he's wearing the gloves. Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. You say what you will about the movie, but that VHS cover is absolutely gorgeous, iconic. I don't care what you say. And then they got the fancy I Love NY poster with him coming through, which I don't know if that was an actual theatrical poster, if that just came out later on in life. But we're not here to talk about none of that. We're here to talk about you liking this video. If you thought it was cool enough to click the like button, you know, whatever you got to do, and then like the video. Did I already say that? Yeah, like. Subscribe. That's another thing you could do. Subscribe. All these buttons that you can push if you don't fucking mind. And if I could borrow $1, I'll leave a link in the description, and you can go over to my Patreon and blah, blah, blah. Give me $1, I'll put your name on the card. Sometimes, you know, if I'm, you know, just do it. I got nothing left. I've got nothing left. You're lucky I even gave you this. Now, get the fuck out. I love you.